This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
You're listening to WSTU Stuart.
Well, a very pleasant good evening. Time for Startup Talk, brought to you by Indian River State College and, of course, the folks at Express Printing. And now, here's Tom Kinder.
Good evening and welcome to another segment and installment of Startup Talk, the show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. And as I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour together tonight to highlight and create awareness regarding the powerful and robust business assistance program and that exists right here in our community at our very own Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve the community as the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center at Indian River State College. Our show today, as always, is powered by the SBDC at IRSC and our good friends at Express Print Port St. Lucie. So good evening, Greg. How are you this evening?
Doing well.
That's good.
Got all our sports skeds.
Okay, well, what do you got for me?
The Lady Pioneers kick things off in volleyball, actually in August 26th.
I don't have that much longer to
in
wait.
Hillsborough.
That's good.
First home game is September 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And I've got both the men and the women. We'll tip things
Now
up.
Now the women's volleyball team we're returning champions,
Yes.
basically, right? We're defending champions.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they've got 2, 4, 6, 7 home games. So the
Nice.
schedule will be up on the website soon.
All right.
Pioneer basketball on the men's side. Ave Maria is going to be November 5 here at home. And on the ladies' side, the same date will be the first game. It'll be Florida State College Jacksonville here against the Lady Pioneers.
Nice. Okay. So not much longer. Our
Nope.
Our dry spell from sports on campus is coming to an end.
We're there.
Greg, as everyone knows who listens to our show on a regular basis, and you know that we spend a lot of time on the show talking about business, and we highlight the groups and the resources and the assistance programs that are within our community that support the local business community. Tonight is no different. We're going to talk about support programs. However, the subject of the support and the need for the support, which we're going to discuss tonight, is a little more critical. Tonight we have representatives from across our communities and across various local, state, and federal agencies to discuss support programs for businesses along the Treasure and Research Coast that are being adversely affected by the recent Lake Okeechobee discharges and the algae bloom disaster that's occurring in our lagoon. So we have with us tonight an extremely informed group of folks that are dedicated to bringing to bear the resources to do what we can to help the local business community. We've got with us this evening Miss Michelle Glass, who is the lead account manager, business services unit with Career Source Research Coast. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
We've got with us Mr. John Camp. He is a public affairs specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you.
We've also got with us on the phone important player in all of this and an important player in the business community down in Martin County. We've got Mr. Tim Duerr, the Executive Director of the Business Development Board of Martin County. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Yep. And to round off the group, we've got Mr. Richard Cantner, who is a Small Business Development Center business consultant. He also serves the center as the business continuity specialist, the business continuation specialist. Welcome to the show, Mr. Cantner.
Thank you, Tom. Pleasure to be here tonight, sir.
All right. So with that, I kind of want to go. We've got so much information to talk about. I do want to sort of kind of go directly into the subject matter. However, I will take 1 minute just to always remind folks that that they can get the latest and greatest information on all the upcoming business training activities that are put on by our local Small Business Development Center office in partnership with the SBA and in partnership with SCORE. You can go to that www.irscbiz.com site. I tell folks all the time that I guarantee you one thing. Will be impressed and you will be somewhat surprised at all the offerings going on in the area of business training, seminars, and workshops that take place along the Treasure Coast. All these workshops, the majority of the workshops put on by the SBDC and SCORE are no cost. So I encourage all the folks out there in the business community to always check out that irscbiz.com site and look for the latest offerings in business training. I also want to remind folks, too, that in our Martin County and St. Lucie County listing area, check out MCTV down in Martin County. We have a television version, as you know, Greg, of this Startup Talk show. It's a Startup Talk TV.
You didn't break the camera?
No, I did not break the camera.
Oh, okay.
As you've always heard, yes, I have a face for radio, but we ventured out and we put my face on TV. So
good looking show, yeah.
That's right. So we have a Startup Talk TV version of this show that runs daily at 7 a.m. and on Thursday evenings at 5:30 p.m. on MCTV down in Martin County. And then you can always catch the show up here in St. Lucie County multiple times. It's running about eight different times during the week on the St. Lucie County School Board channel, WLXTV, which is channel 13. And you can also see us on the St. Lucie County channel, SLC TV, which is Comcast 28 or 99 on AT&T Uverse. So check us out on TV. Got a great show running this month. We interviewed Ann Decker, who is the executive director of the Indian River State College Foundation. We talked about a great event that they do every year to recognize entrepreneurial excellence. We talked about her annual Entrepreneur of the Year event. This year's recipient of the Entrepreneur of the Year Award, which is the highest award handed out by Indian River State College. This year's recipient was Mr. Scott Deal, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of Maverick Boat Group, a St. Lucie County manufacturer. So he received the award this year. I was lucky enough to get a seat. It was way in the back. I usually, Miss Decker usually finds me something there next to the restrooms or something. I get to sit in the back, but I was lucky enough to attend the event. Great event this year. So we interviewed also Scott Deal about Maverick Boat Group and his reaction to receiving the award this year. So it's a great TV show. Check that out. 30-minute talk show. Again, Startup Talk TV. So with that, I will sort of kind of get into a lot of information tonight. As everyone knows, we are experiencing some real difficulties down in Martin County. And I can tell you that while most people look, and if you're not involved in the waterfront or own a business that's maybe water related, you may not be feeling this, but there are a lot of businesses in Martin County and St. Lucie County really feeling some effects and not good effects of all that's going on with the Lake Okeechobee discharges. And I think we ought to start with Tim from the Martin County Business Development Board to kind of give us an overview of what is happening in the business community down in Martin County, who has really been so badly affected and damaged by what's going on in the lagoon. So Tim, kind of get us up to speed, give us a current status report on what's happening down in Martin County.
Sure. Thank you, Tom. And also thank you to everybody else on the show tonight. You all have really pulled through and come to our aid in a time of need. As Tom had mentioned, I'm Tim Duerr with the Business Development Board in Martin County, and we are a similar organization as the St. Lucie County EDC, acting as the official economic development organizations for each of our counties. And we basically worked with existing companies in Martin County to expand their business and look to relocate new businesses here. But in times and situations like we're in now, with the releases from Lake Okeechobee continuing to pollute our estuary and lagoon, this algae bloom, green-blue algae, has formed and has really taken a toll on our local business. Generally, we would work with manufacturing companies, headquarters, and organizations like that. But in a time like this, we're getting calls from restaurants and marinas and paddleboard companies and really anything related to the water. We are hearing of layoffs. We are hearing of a couple bait and tackle shops that just simply could not stay open. So it's a real serious situation. We have a lot of folks coming into town to help us out with their programs, which you'll hear about a little bit later on the show. But as a kind of a clearinghouse, the Business Development Board is acting as the go-to place. So if somebody needs to make a phone call or get some information about this recovery center that you'll hear about, I would encourage them to call our office at 221-1380, and that's area code 772.
All right, Tim, have you got some basic numbers? I think your office put out somewhat of an infographic on some things that are happening as far as numbers. You're tracking real numbers, and it's beginning to show some real negative effects. There are people being laid off because of this, and revenues are down for certain businesses. Do you have any specific numbers that you can talk about?
We do. Right now, the DEO, and you'll hear from them a little bit later, they have initiated a survey, which is very important for people to go and complete this survey. It allows us to get the information that we need to provide the resources and potential programs that could be created or implemented because of this information. So far, in the several county areas, 32 companies in Martin County have completed the survey with thousands of dollars in loss. We've already got almost 40 people confirmed that have been laid off because of this. And those are really just the immediate effects, and we're feeling that there will be a phase 2 to this. This is not a normal emergency crisis situation. It has no beginning, it has a beginning, right? But it has no foreseeable end. And with the rainy season coming, I can't imagine what we are looking at, but we want to be ready, and it's very important that these folks complete this survey. Okay.
Tim, I want you to stay on the line if you can with us as we kind of move through this. We may want to come back to you in just a minute, but let's move now to John Camp, who is a public affairs specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance. John, start just quickly with a little background on yourself, John, because obviously you're in town representing SBA. So start with a little background on yourself for us.
Yeah, well, I'm a public affairs specialist with SBA. I've been in the disaster loan business since 1985, and I've seen a lot over the years. And I was up in Orlando, and I began a few weeks ago, and I began looking at the televisions, and I was seeing some of the reports that were coming out of here, and I could tell, it was really terrible, and the governor approached us about and the local officials about opening a center down here in Martin, and we've responded. We have opened a business recovery center at the Martin County Fairgrounds. We're there Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 p.m. Until further notice. That's a temporary facility, but as long as people continue to come to us, there's a need, and they continue to come visit us, we'll remain open.
All right. Give us a little background too and information on the SBA and that Office of Disaster Assistance. What do you guys do? When do you come in? What's kind of the trigger that brings the SBA to an area like this?
Well, there are several different types of disaster declarations. Most everybody's familiar with FEMA, and whenever FEMA comes to town, SBA comes along with them. In this particular instance, we have a disaster declaration that arose as a result of a disaster declaration by the Secretary of Agriculture. And whenever the Secretary of Agriculture has a disaster declaration to help farmers, the SBA has a parallel declaration for the small businesses, the non-farm businesses that were affected by the same event. And that's what we have here. So we are offering low-interest, long-term working capital loans to small businesses and nonprofit organizations that have been affected by this algae bloom.
Okay. And again, your role in the community is at this point to support the business community. You're really specific to the business community. You're not like a FEMA, which provides all kinds of, I guess, relief in terms of supplies for individuals. You are strictly really targeting the business community. That's who you work with.
In this disaster, we are. If we came with FEMA, we would be offering loans to homeowners and renters also.
Okay.
But when in a declaration by the Secretary of Agriculture, we are specifically and exclusively for the small businesses and the nonprofit organizations.
Okay. And you are the same team of people that would come in after any type of disaster, a hurricane. SBA would be in, flood issues, all kinds of. You're the team that comes in.
That's right. That's right.
BP oil spill. You were there to support those.
We were there for that, and in this case, as I say, it was following a declaration by the Secretary of Agriculture for flooding that began back in January.
Okay.
And these loans have been available since March. They're available through November 16th this year.
All right. I want to come back because I do want to talk. I want to talk about these loans because we had a conversation yesterday down at the center, about really how the bridge loan and then your loan works together. So stand by because I think that's an important issue to cover. So we're going to talk about loans in just a minute. So stand by. I want to, at this point, reintroduce again Michelle Glass, the lead account manager with the Business Services Unit at Career Source Research Coast. Really kind of even surprising to me. We were at the center yesterday, and then here's Career Source. So, it's amazing all the agencies that are providing the support through this issue. So, Michelle, kind of again, same question. Talk to us a little bit about your background, your path to Career Source. How'd you get where you are?
Okay. I actually started out in the public sector and I worked with the employment industry and have been for 15 years, including my time here for about 21 years.
But
oh
my gosh, Michelle, when did you start? When you were 12?
I did. I got started very early. But it's a lot of the same transferables that go into it. Career Source Research Coast is a not-for-profit agency that's federally and state funded. We're funded through the state with the Department of Economic Opportunity, so we partner with them on a lot of their programs and getting that done. And we have the Department of Labor that is our federal funding that comes in to help us. So all of the services that we offer are through partnerships and strong community partners and businesses and the organizations and community-based organizations in the on the Treasure Coast and the Research Coast that we can help.
So outside of disasters, what's the normal role of Career Source? What do you guys normally providing the community?
Okay. We provide a lot of services. It would take the whole show to go over everything we do.
We're going to have you back, Michelle. We're going to do a whole show on Career Source. But give us the abbreviated version tonight.
The abbreviated version is that we are the Workforce Development Board.
Okay. Right.
Career Source Florida is the state's the state umbrella, and then we're divided into 24 regions, and we handle things locally within those regions.
Okay.
So, and then the Department of Economic Opportunity, as I said, is one of our is part of our funding. So, they help us out of Tallahassee, and we operate and work with them with for example, the short-term compensation and different unemployment opportunities and different rapid response services. We do it on the local level so that you have that face-to-face and that, person to talk to that can help you locally. and work very closely with them at a state level to have all of those programs and services.
So talk to us about your current role now, involved in business support during this time of disaster and crises in the business community. What's your role in all this now?
Okay. As Tim touched on the surveys that DEO has sent out, the Department of Economic Opportunity has sent out, it's very important that we get those back because we are utilizing those surveys to present at a state level and at a federal level to show the need and to show the impact here locally. And without having that, we can't really put an emphasis on how much is really needed. So it's very, very important that businesses get those so that we can continue to offer the services.
Right.
So we work with them on that.
And you have, CareerSource actually has a specific program that you're offering to?
We do. We help both the career seekers and the employers. We work on both sides of the fence. For the employers, we're offering helping them with the filing of the reemployment assistance if it leads to layoffs, and then the short-term compensation on a local level, which will get turned over to the DEO at a state level to help with the short-term compensation as well.
So put it in sort of layman's terms. So if I'm a business in Martin County and I'm faced with potentially laying off some employees, how does the program work?
You could just get in touch with us at CareerSource. We can do all the paperwork for you, put you in contact with the right people, help you with transitioning your employees into new careers if it leads to that, if it leads to your business closing. We help you if you do have to close your business and you want to move into another position or into another role. We do everything we can as far as offering training and partnering with the community and working through the grants and accessing the immediate needs that you need while you are on that temporary layoff or while you are laid off.
All right. And again, survey is critically important to providing you with the data needed to support the programs that all the entities are providing.
Exactly.
Do we have a web address to go get the? Tim, do you have a web address where businesses access that survey?
I think DEO would have that, and they're on the line. Is that correct?
We don't have DEO with us, but we
do have it on our website.
Okay, so it's on the CareerSource?
It's on the CareerSource website, so you could link to it from there.
Okay.
I don't know the exact link, but we do have it posted on our site.
Okay.
And have sent out, surveys to people. And we're also going to be doing some campaigns in conjunction with the chambers, as well as with the Business Development Board in Martin County and St. Lucie County, in a grassroots campaign and reaching out to the businesses and letting them know what all is available so that we can get the surveys and be able to continue to provide the services.
It's important to get the word out. I remember during the hurricanes, a lot of the businesses weren't really affected until maybe 3 or 4 weeks after the hurricane.
That's right.
Exactly right.
And that's when they were all of a sudden.
And I think that's where we're seeing that too here. I mean, Tim, is that kind of was there a little bit of a delayed, delayed recognition that this was a problem, you think? Didn't all of a sudden happen? It was
just for the legislators. No, that was me.
I think, I would totally agree with that. When you have an event like a hurricane or a flood, you have a starting point, and this kind of just build and build and build, and so it kind of crept up on us. And I think we've had the releases in the past. The blue-green algae is nothing new, but it's so concentrated right now that it's a bigger issue than it has been in the past.
Yep. So let me turn now to our very own Dick Cantner, who is with the SBDC, Small Business Development Center. Dick serves as our business continuity specialist. And Dick, you're kind of the point person on what we call the bridge loan program. Have you got a little information on the bridge loan program? And I guess Dick, start with, like everyone else, kind of give us a quick your pathway to the SBDC.
Yes, sir. I can do that. I started out in a $20 million steel company in Reading, Pennsylvania for about 20 years, engineering and production management. And after I was bored with that for 20 years, in 1988, borrowed $500,000, started my first 3 companies, got bored again in 98 and started 2 more.
Yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time?
I am a collection of 6 cars. I fly, I drive, I take care of my 2 standard poodles, but a few other things. But
Right.
I just have to stay busy. At any rate, I came here in '05 to help my brother with his companies. He was having some problems with them, and after I got those up and running, I had the opportunity to go and interview at the college. And I guess with my background, they thought maybe I might be able to help some people with their businesses. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, that's good.
So I've been with the company. I've been with SPDC for 6 years now. I was very blessed. About 6 years ago, I was selected and sent to Chicago to be trained by a company called DRI, Disaster Resource International. There were 4 or 5 of us from the state of Florida there. We spent a week there, like 8-10 hours a day, studied at night, had a 6-hour test, had to pass to get certified. And also, we must keep that certification up each and every year by contributing and doing so many activities related to disaster resource. So I'm very, very blessed to be able to do that. I've been involved with this, I guess, because of my certification and my desire to help folks, as everybody in the SBDC does. Been studying and learning more and more and more as more information comes out. A bridge loan program will basically can be a program where folks that are eligible can apply for a 3 to 6 months loan. Be up to about $25,000 for eligible businesses. From what I'm gathering in the past, if you do not have it paid off, an interest program will kick in. That will be set at the time that you continue to have your loan, but it will not be interest-free. You will have to continue paying that loan off plus interest that is due. There's quite a list of requirements. Of course, it's nothing impossible of folks that they have to meet those requirements. The loans will be granted by local banks, lending institutions, credit unions, made up of a committee of 3 folks that have said, yes, we'd like to participate in that, of course, with the backing and support of the SBA.
Okay.
4 counties, I guess, that are really affected so much that we've all been talking about. There hasn't been a whole lot of discussion about my county, Indian River County. Indian River County is starting to be more and more affected daily.
Right.
I go to our Sebastian campus Tuesday in my office up there to help North County folks. Just happens to be right next to the office of the Indian River Lagoon and the National Estuary Program. I meet with those folks and their director, Dr. Dwayne DeFries, every Tuesday to find out exactly what's going on, what's new, what's changed, and I also inform them as far as what SBDC and the SBA, what we're finding out from the surveys and so forth and so on. So
Okay.
we share information readily back and forth. And just as a side note, Dr. DeFries is in Washington today. Today is Lagoon Day up there, and one of the local congressmen invited him to come up and sit on a committee to talk about the lagoon, what's happening, and what's being done to hopefully affect it. I remember Dwayne had told me, I guess 2 weeks ago, I guess it's been about 3-4 years, all of the seagrasses in the Indian River Lagoon in our county are dead. And the chances look excellent that they will never, ever be able to grow again. He talked about some of the water tests up here where parts should be around 10 parts per million. They are over 300 parts per million.
All right.
Our water does not look like it does in St. Lucie and Martin County. But the concept, the idea people are thinking about, well, if that's happening down here, what's the possibility that I may get affected or catch something up in Indian River County? And that's been hurting folks. I have a local boat maker that has applied for some bridge loan work. And I'll be contacting him very, very shortly in the next few days. I did go on, again, our website, irscbiz.com. And that link to take that damage assessment is on our website.
Yep.
Once you click on the link and you see the 3 areas, click on the one on the left for Small Business Development Center, and at the bottom of that page it will show you that link that you can fill out that survey. And we have received those surveys, we've reviewed them, looked at the various reasons, and of course, I guess everybody has a reason, and was one there
Right.
at the car lot. They said, I'm being affected. I'm thinking, how's a car lot affected? Well, somebody mentioned maybe it's very, very close to the lagoon, and all the odor and the smells are wafting over in his lot. Nobody wants to stand around and look at cars in his lot if the stench is so bad.
Right.
So there's many circumstances that are coming into play that are going to be affecting it. But, this loan period, I believe, is only open for 6 weeks from today, starting till about the 31st of August. We recommend to all of our listeners, if you are affected, you feel you qualify, by all means, please go ahead and submit your assessment. There's a 6-week period for you to do that. And, of course, each and every one of us in the small business development center in Tom's region, we're more than happy to help and assist folks with anything and everything that the SBDC does, sir.
All right. We're going to take a break here real quick, so everybody just stay with us through the break. But when we get back, I want to talk again back to Jack a little bit about how the bridge loan works with the SBDC long-term loans. So stay tuned. This is Startup Talk.
Are you looking to build a technical career that offers good pay and growth opportunities? Then register today for Indian River State College's Fast Track to Manufacturing program and earn your way to a rewarding and challenging career. Daytime classes begin July 5th in Martin County. Coursework will include industry measurement and equipment training, basic blueprint reading, and hands-on lab training. Upon completion of the course, students have the opportunity to earn a nationally recognized industry certification. Partnering with local manufacturers, the Fast Track program offers students a direct link to local manufacturers and job opportunities. Start earning more by launching a career in advanced manufacturing through IRSC's Fast Track to Manufacturing program. For more information, contact Gail Shore at 462-7817 or visit irscbiz.com. Scholarships available for qualified students. Earn more with a career in advanced manufacturing. Call 462-7817 for IRSC's Fast Track to Manufacturing program.
Express Printing in Port St. Lucie is proud to present Startup Talk from Indian River State College. You see Express Printing in its new US 1 location in the Chris Plaza, just south of the Boulevard across from Walmart, is the one-stop shop for entrepreneurs throughout the Treasure Coast. Whether you're starting a business or building one, Express Printing can offer insight on how to separate you from your competition. Let Express Printing help you rebrand your business as well. The backbone of America is its entrepreneurial spirit, shared by Express Printing and Indian River State College. Express Printing in a newer and larger facility to assist entrepreneurs. Express Printing, 878-7975. That's 878-7975. Express Printing. Look for the red sign that says, "We come to you."
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
And we are back. This is Startup Talk. I am Tom Kindred from Indian River State College's Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. And we are talking tonight about a number of local, state, federal agencies that are on site along the Treasure and Research Coast to provide assistance during what has turned into a pretty tough time for some local businesses with our
environmental disasters.
Right. So we've got some very informed and folks with us tonight. We've got Tim Duerr with the Martin County Business Development Board, who is kind of the lead point organization down in Martin County on all the issues that are happening down there. So Tim, welcome again.
Thank you.
We've got Mr. John Camp, who is with the Small Business Administration, the SBA. Welcome again, John, to the show.
Thanks, Tom.
We've got Michelle Glass, who is with Career Source. Welcome again, Michelle, to the show.
Thank you.
And we've got our very own Dick Cantner with the SBDC. So welcome, Dick.
Yes, sir. Here, ready to go.
All right, so let's pick up where we left off. This is important stuff. So Dick from the SBDC just talked about what's called the Florida Small Business Emergency Bridge Loan Program. So the bridge loan is a short-term, interest-free working capital loan. It's intended to bridge the gap, so to speak, between the time a major catastrophe hits and when the business secures that longer-term recovery resources. And that could even be beginning to build their revenues back up. But sort of in this case, that may be a while. So, John, talk to us just a little bit about how the SBA and this Florida bridge loan kind of work together, because it makes sense.
Well, yes. If someone is approved for a bridge loan, they can come to the Small Business Administration and apply for one of our economic injury loans, which are working capital loans. And we can use the proceeds of that loan to pay off the bridge loan. So when you get to a point where you're beginning to pay interest on your bridge loan at probably a higher rate than the 4% that we're charging, you can use our funds to pay that off. Now, we can loan businesses up to $2 million, depending on their eligibility, for working capital. Up to $25,000 on our loans are on an unsecured basis, but we can go up to $2 million.
So we're talking about, are there limitations to the business size that can get a disaster loan from you? Is there a limit to that?
Well, yes, they have to qualify as a small business.
Okay, so that's less than.
Well, it depends on the type of business,
okay,
and it's the guidelines that are set by the Small Business Administration.
Okay, all right.
I think that for most of the business that we're talking about, that's not going to be an issue.
Probably not.
Most of the people that really need it, and the loans really can be a powerful tool for businesses to survive this. I'd like for people really to take a long-term view on this. I mean, the disaster will end at some point, and your goal should be to be one of those businesses that's left standing at the end of the day. But to get you from here to there, you're going to need some working capital to keep the lights on, right, and the SBA can provide that to you.
Okay. And again, you make a good point too, because I think, Tim, one of the stats that's coming out of this, this whole issue is about 63% of the businesses who are completing these surveys have less than 10 employees. So I think, and Michelle pointed this out a little earlier, we were talking before the show, this issue, this disaster, so to speak, is really affecting small business. It's affecting the people and the businesses that can least, stand to have this kind of problem.
Exactly.
Right.
The smaller businesses don't have that additional resources from another corporate office or other areas that may not be having a disaster at the time. So it affects the smaller businesses a lot.
That makes sense.
A lot more.
Yeah. So John, again, you really have helped me understand too, because there was talk about the bridge loan. There was talk about, how does it help to get a business a loan for only 90, 180 days? But I think again you've cleared that up. That simply is truly a bridge loan, and that bridge is really to get you to the longer-term SBA loan.
That's right, and our loans can be for up to 30 years, depending on your repayment ability. So, you get approved for one of these loans at 4%, and you're locked in at 4% for however long it takes you to pay off, up to 30 years, depending on what we determine you can afford to repay.
What do you think, Tom? Mill for you?
Sure. Yeah. That really does make a little more sense now, and I think that that's why it's so important that all of you agencies are working together. I mean, you've got the state of Florida here through the bridge loan and the DEO, the Department of Economic Opportunity. Then you've got SBA at the federal level. You've got Career Source at really multiple levels. Right. Now, go ahead, John.
Yeah, and I was going to say, information on all of these programs is available at the Business Recovery Center there at the Martin County Fairgrounds.
Okay, and while you're on that, let's so real quickly, we are at the Martin County Fairgrounds. Hours for the center?
9 to 5, Monday through Friday, until further notice.
Okay. So there really is no, you don't have a date marked on the calendar when you guys are going to pack up and go home. You stay until you think the job is done.
As long as the traffic to the center justifies our stay in there, we can keep the center open. So, I'd really like for affected businesses to take advantage of us while we're there. Come in, sit down, and talk. At least talk to us. You may decide that it's not for you, but by applying for the loan, it doesn't cost you anything to apply for a loan. You're not obligated to take a loan, but that gives you knowledge of what is out there for you. Knowledge is power.
Okay.
John, how many businesses have come to you so far?
Well, we've had about 8 businesses come into the center the first couple of days we've been open. Most of those have been today. So far, since the disaster was declared back in March, we've had 7 businesses apply for the loan, and we've approved over $220,000 in loan.
Wow. That's great.
Awesome.
And
That's great.
Yeah, that figure can go up pretty fast. I mean, This is a type of disaster where early on people may not have realized how vast the impact was on their business, and now it's becoming more and more apparent. And if people will come to us, there's not a limit on the amount of loan funds that are available under this declaration. Whatever you need, you come to us, apply. If we can approve the loans, we'll make the funds available to you.
And again, as you mentioned too, you had a lot of folks today. Actually, I think today was the official sort of release and notification that the center was open. You've sort of just been in setup mode up until today. Is that sort of kind of?
Yeah, it was kind of a soft opening yesterday. Okay. The governor put out a notice yesterday evening about us being there.
Okay, I think I did. I think I pulled that notice today. Yeah, Governor Scott activates emergency bridge loan program, and the office was open. So that all that information kind of hit the newsstands today. So things will probably get a little busier at the center. So Michelle, let's go back to you real quick. Again, very interesting program. I mean, you've got what's called the short time compensation, and again, this program is specifically designed in support of the Lake Okeechobee Algae Bloom event. So talk about, again, how does this help a small business?
This can help a small business so that they can retain their employees and not lose the employees that they've had that may be very valuable, been there a long time, and you don't want to lose them. It's part of the unemployment program, and it is administered on a state level through the Department of Economic Opportunity. But we do get in touch with them and connect you here on a local basis. But it's where the employees, you can maintain them. They work short hours. You lower their hours rather than having to lay them off, and they still qualify for unemployment benefits as well because they qualify by being underemployed rather than unemployed. So you're able to keep them here and keep them working, and then they can draw the unemployment benefits to offset and to compensate so that they are able to continue working and you don't lose that talent.
Now, is that like the bridge loan and like the SBA loan programs, is that something that, the government says, okay, turn the switch on this short time compensation? This isn't all the time, is it? It's
available all of the time.
Is it really?
It is. You have to justify the reason for having it. I mean, there needs to be some type of emergency, but and it is in place to keep businesses keep them going. And but say you're in an area that's very seasonal, that you could use this. It's very, very good for agricultural and the migrant seasonal farm workers and things like that they have to their seasons don't go for 12 months, so it's something that they could do too.
So this is available year-round?
It is. All of our services are available year-round. We just have different levels and different grants based on the need of the community and the industry sectors that are impacted.
But obviously this short-time compensation program really kind of comes to light.
Yes. This is definitely this is the time for it. I mean, it's definitely it's not just during emergencies or disasters, but it's what it's designed for.
Right.
And it definitely helps you get through that.
And Michelle, you really hit on some great points too. We've had Bob O'Brien and we've had Susan Klein on the show from the CCTI, our corporate and community training group, and we talk about how difficult it is and how much more expensive it is to replace an employee than it is to retain one. So I mean, this program really addresses that.
It does. It does, and we work very closely with Bob O'Brien and with the Florida Manufacturing grants and helping with training grants and training dollars to put those people as they graduate into positions and into jobs.
Okay. So again, excellent program, really. That probably do people tell you all the time, Michelle? I didn't know that. Did you hear that?
We're one of the county's best kept secrets. I can tell you.
We'll change that.
That's right. There's a lot of secrets going on around this county.
There are. There's a lot of services that we provide that many people are familiar with. So it's all about, like you said, knowledge is power. So getting it out there and so people know that it's available.
So I guess I want to turn back to you, Tim, if you're still with us out there. Really, what is so nice about all this is, and again, under your leadership and under the BDB's direction and leadership, I mean, it's been nice to see. And Jill is, the young lady that works with the BDB, just an incredible resource that she is. She really is great about bringing all this information together and disseminating the information. And again, Tim, I can't say enough about your organization. You've really helped to put all the pieces together. These are, again, is it fair to say these are very powerful pieces, and it's nice to see them brought together?
Well, it's a lot of information, and I think we like to whittle it down to here's what you need to know, here's where you need to see, here's who you need to talk to. And I think that's the important part. And I know we're running out of time, but I do have that actual physical website address for the survey. And I just want to give it out real quick.
Yeah, please.
It would be www. F as in Florida, L, V as in Victor, B as in boy, EOC.org. And on the front page, there's a tab that says Business Damage Assessment. And then once you're in there, it says to select your event. And obviously it would be the Lake Okeechobee Discharge Algae Bloom.
Okay.
So that's very important for those businesses to go out there and complete that for us to continue what we're doing.
Yes, and it's not going to take people hours to do this survey. It's literally I've got the survey in my hands. It's most of the questions are yes and no. I think, in fact, that's really. There's a few questions on the front, demographic type data, name, address of the business kind of thing. But most of the questions appear to me to be, fairly simple and straightforward. So, and again, we can't stress that enough. It is vital that you fill this out because this is really where all the data is being driven from. And if we don't demonstrate that we've got a problem, then
the resources won't be available.
The resources won't be available. Okay. All right. Again, Tim, again, hang in there with us just another minute as we close. But I just want to say too, thank you to you and to Jill and for all the assistance you provided all of us. And again, I guess I want to just make the rounds one more time, real quickly. Again, John Camp, Public Affairs Specialist, U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of Disaster Assistance. You are in town. You are here until further notice.
That's right. We're at the Martin County Fairgrounds Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. If you can't get by the fairgrounds, you can call us up at 1-800-659-2955 or visit us on the web at www.sba.gov/disaster.
Okay. And it's not just you. I think there's 3 or 4 of you, right, at the center?
That's correct.
Right. So there's people there. It's not like you're going to have to wait all day to see somebody. There are SBA representatives there. The center is designed for this very reason, to allow businesses to come in and meet with you and talk about the federal programs that are available to help them through this crisis.
That's correct.
Okay. And I guess it's worth noting too that the disaster area is a declared area, and for right now, am I correct? It's Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie County, I believe.
Actually, it covers more than that. It's based on the original declaration from the Secretary of Agriculture.
Okay.
And it covers Brevard, Broward, Charlotte, DeSoto, Glades, Hardy, Hendry, Highlands, Indian River, Lee, Martin, Miami-Dade, Monroe, Okeechobee, Osceola, Palm Beach, Polk, St. Lucie, and Sarasota.
Because you figure the water's also going west.
Right, that's right.
That's
It
right.
is.
It's going both ways.
That's right. I forgot about the other side, too. The Caloosahatchee.
So,
right.
yeah,
Okay.
it's, yeah.
Okay.
It's most of South Florida.
Okay. All right. So, again, John, I welcome you to the Treasure Coast. I wish we were here for a barbecue or something, but unfortunately we're not. So, but we welcome and thank you for coming down and assisting. And Michelle, just your close, your quick close from Career Source.
Well, we are available. We're also in and out of the center as well. We have also got information there. Our Martin County office is only 1.5 miles from there, so we encourage you to come by our offices.
Where is that?
We have an office. The Martin County office is on Southeast Central Parkway. It's 710 Southeast Central Parkway in Stuart. And we have an office in St. Lucie County as well as Indian River County. That's the 3 counties that we cover, that we are responsible for and that we are charged with workforce development. So we invite you to come by there and see us. We, again, have a link to the surveys, a very informative website for other sources and services that are available if you're not in the middle of a disaster. But so we cover those areas, and we have offices that are outside of our region that would cover the Palm Beaches and the other areas.
Okay. And Dick, you got about 30 seconds. Just how do we get in touch with the SBDC?
Well, again, the best way is to go to our website, irscbiz.com. All the information is on there. Second page in, it'll say request for consulting. You can fill that information out. It takes about 3 minutes. That goes to the state website. That takes about 10 seconds, and we all get to review that information. And as soon as we see that, someone in one of our 4 counties will be in touch with you to offer assistance and help out in any way that we can.
Okay. And you're the point person. Dick Cantner is the point person on the bridge loan.
Yes, sir. That's
okay. All right. With that, we're going to bring this segment of Startup Talk to a close. Important information. I want to thank everyone for taking time out tonight to come by and share this information. It's important. A lot of folks, a lot of businesses suffering right now because of what's going on. So I appreciate it, and thanks for tuning in to another segment of Startup Talk. Again, thank all of our guests, and please visit that irscbiz.com site for more information on what's going on.
John, one more quick. Your hours again at the Martin County Fairgrounds?
Monday through Friday from 9 to 5.
Okay.
Easy.
Yep, easy. All right. With that, we'll bring it to a close, and we'll talk to everyone next week on Startup Talk.
You're listening to WPSL, Port St. Lucie, WPSL.com, webcaster to the world, and WSTU Stuart, Martin County's Heritage Station.